As you can see how much the door fell. It was up here and it fell to here. So I'm going to go ahead and lift it back up with the jack. I'll re-tack it, and then I guess I'll do some more welding on the inside. There wasn't as much, yeah, there's no kind of flooring on this side. So I kind of just chanced it and it didn't work, so no big deal. Time to do the old jack trick. Okay, so I like to set my jack and stuff back here in the back because with the 2x4, because that's where the hinges are at. That looks pretty good to me. And I'm going to go ahead and tack it right there where it's at, back in place, and then go back in and finish my floors. Let's knock out the sheet metal on the driver's side like we did the passenger side, so we can cut the door back open and get it to swing open and close very nicely. We can get to that point, and then we can get started on the rockers. Thinking about this back, I'm probably looking about, man, there's a 31-inch gap, and I know it doesn't have to move 31 inches, but even if you think about it, 28 inches, it has to move quite a bit. I'm not sure exactly how much. The bed's not exactly sitting where it needs to be. It needs to come forward a little bit more, so it'll be probably a little less. But still, even 20 inches is still a lot to close this gap. So we'll keep that in mind as I focus on these projects here and just try to get this thing knocked out, because I really want to get that door open. Here's my first piece I'm going to put on. I probably showed it in the last video where I sat there and folded it, but this is it. I marked it a ½ inch from the inside and then kind of about an inch in between. Of course, you get caught up into a little whatever and you just kind of make up your own lines as you go. Just make it evenly spaced out. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect. Will this door move or will it stay lined up? I welded the floor to the cab. We're solid. So let's see what we did. This side's a little bit hard. Can't figure out why it's touching, but it looks to have stayed lined up. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to tweak this door a little bit. It's a little bit hard. For those of you that caught it, y'all did see I didn't put any witness marks. So whenever I broke the weld, I saw it pop, but I didn't see whether it moved up and down. My line shows me that I'm still there, but I don't remember struggling this hard to open the door. So I'll tweak it. We'll get it there. Okay, let me show you what I did on the other side. I made this kind of sits in here. So when you open the door, you'll see that. It'll be flat. It'll be nice. Transfer it to my sheet metal. And as you see, I left it a little bit long. That way I'm able to do something with it. Let me cut it real quick. Woo, that's hot. It's about 1 1/8 right here at the bend. So the one thing that I have to remember is this was for the left side, so that means this is for the right side. So it goes like this. Mark it on the right side. So when I bend it, I'll bend it on the right side. That's kind of like the most important thing. You can take your template, fold it over, put a dot there, a dot there. Use that as a template to bend it. Look, I'll go bend it right now. Now that we're done with the rear of the cab, it is time for the rocker. Now the rocker I'm pretty excited for, because once we finish the rocker, then we'll be done with the cab and we can get started on the next step. I'm gonna measure from the inside there to the inside here. It's about 35. I'm gonna go ahead and do it about 36, just to give me enough meat in the back to be able to weld onto the plate some more. So I'll start with that 36 by 7. Yeah, we'll do 36 by 7. That way we can go ahead and line it up to the bottom of the inner plate on the A-pillar, on the inside of the A-pillar that we made earlier, that I had used for a brace that we ended up cutting because that looks ugly. I just put it on there to brace it, and then I welded more on there. So I don't know what I was thinking, but I'm gonna cut it all out. It just looks way nicer without it. So I will make that'll be the inner rocker, and I will make the inner rockers out of poster board. I can't remember if it was 6 or 7. I just want to do it once. I'm going to say 6. So what I did was I put the line on the 7 and I marked it on the 1. That gives me my 6 inches. I do it that way because I feel it's a little more accurate. Maybe not as accurate as a metric, but we can argue about that. Well, actually, before I do that, I'm going to go back there and measure and make sure it's 6. Okay, so it's 7. 7 it is. Now, I'll come across the whole thing. And there is 7 inches. We measured this out, 36 inches by 7 inches. Anyways, we want to keep going. I went through the pile that I kept because I didn't throw everything away. I wanted to make sure that I had some parts, and I found, look at this, I found the passenger side rocker. So now instead of making one up, I can just, look at this and now I know exactly what I need to do to make one. Or I may be able to save this one, I'm not sure. It's a little bit bent. I can always fold that back out. And I could reuse most of it, And if I did, I would just have to section it in pieces. Kind of sounds like a good idea because I could just beat all this out while I've got it out. But anyways, this is how it goes. My fenders are loose on the bottom. If y'all notice, I'm always pushing them in. It's because your bolt goes through this hole and you have a nut or weld nut inside of the fender, and that's what keeps it in place. So anyways, this will go right behind the fender, which will hold it in place. This will come down, kind of meet up something like this. Another thing that's good news is now I see that my tab came straight up right off of the A-pillar. I kind of thought that it went down a little bit, then folded over. I wasn't sure, but this kind of tells me that that is exactly where it goes. Oh, look at that. There it is. There's the other piece to it. So now I'm even more sure that this piece goes exactly right here. So this makes this a whole lot easier. I might use a majority of it. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to use it all or I could just make it new. There's a lot of filler. You can see all that is filler. So somebody try to body work it and didn't do a very good job. Cool. Well, that's a start. We've got something to start with, and I think that'll be great to get this rolling. And this is what I'm going to do. Get rid of that. I'm going to keep all this because I could use this to bolt my fender in place. use all this side since I know I cut it there, and the other piece got bent in, I guess, when we were jacking it up. I'm gonna re-weld it here too. I'll be able to get rid of all this filler and just hammer and dolly all my stuff out, or put it in something hard and hammer it out. When it comes to the top of the rocker, I think I'm gonna cut it right here. So when I set my rocker in, and then all I have to make is a plate with the 90. I'll put me some spot welds there. I'll put me some holes here, and I'll spot weld it into this plate here, which will be bolted and welded to the A pillar and the B pillar, and it'll be connected, bolted to the fender. So it sounds like a plan to me. It's a little bit beat up. I don't know if you can see it, but we'll see if we can straighten it out. Now, I think I've got to cut these heads off of these screws because I don't know, they're all in my way. So we either cut right through them, or I'm gonna try to knock them off first. All right, here we are. Next, I want to get rid of this. Well, actually, it's a part of the A pillar. I may be able to weld it back in. I'll try. So, let's see. First thing we want to do is get rid of this filler. Best way to do it is, ooh, it's too wide. One piece. Yeah, nasty. That's what it looks like when you Bondo over rust. Ugly. All right, so I was just underneath there, and while I was there, I went on ahead and measured the bottom of the A pillar. So I've got 3.5 by 3. I mean 3.25 by 3.25. So I'm gonna start with that. Go ahead and reinforce it. Then, I'm gonna put my rocker in and go ahead and tack it in place. So we'll go from there. Right. See what we're working with. So we know that their piece didn't come out so bad. Oh, now this piece is all beat up. So let me get a hammer and dolly, beat some of this out, see if we can salvage some of that. I don't know. Hopefully we can. These are what I'm going to use. Use this as a dolly and this to swing. My inner rocker is kind of in the way, so we'll go ahead and take it down right quick. It won't take me long. And the tape line, I don't know if I explained it last video, but the tape line is actually how far up I'll take my sheet metal. Because I want my sheet metal to come up here because I want this curve. I don't think you're going to see it. Maybe. All right, so I set it up there. I got my Sharpie and started marking everywhere where I'm going to drill a hole. I marked the outside over there that was kind of hanging off, so we cut it off. It's fitting exactly how we want it to fit. So now it's just going and drilling our holes. That way we can get this thing spot welded. So now that we've drilled them all with the 1/8 inch drill bit, we'll come in 5/16. I promise y'all I have a hole puncher. I have manual hole punchers, air hole punchers, all in my toolbox at my shop in Magnolia. Okay, there we are. So what I'm going to do, since I have a bunch of fingerprints, markings, all that, I'm going to go ahead and clean it one more time with some ammonia, and then we'll be ready for install. I'll go Cleco it in place. Woo, look at them sparks. Most important thing, once you tag it, you also have to make sure to just tap it with the hammer. It doesn't have to be hard. All you're doing is reminding it that's where you want it. You don't want it to move from right there. All right, so now that I've got it all written down on my trusty little paint stick, you see there, all my measurements, I'm gonna bring it over here to my piece of sheet metal. I cleaned out this area, as you can see. Okay, it's gonna be 3 1/8 inches on the front of the cab, and then 30 inches away from that, actually 30 inches and 3/4 away from that, and then on this side we're going to mark 2 3/4 because we know that the end of our panel was 2 3/4. Now on both the 2 3/4 we're going to add 1 inch, so 3 3/4 we're going to mark another line, and just like on this one we were at 3 1/8, I'm going to put another dot on 4 1/8 because we can't forget that we have a lip that we have to fold. All right, here we go. Our step is going to be like something like this. We'll have to sit there and tweak it, you know, cut that thing back some more, drill our holes. You guys know the process. Same thing we've been doing all the way through. So a lot of just cleanup work, a lot of trim work. We have to make this side look nice. This is wifey's side, so definitely she can't walk in and be disappointed when she opens the door every time. So let's see if I can make it look kind of nice. So the first thing I'm going to do is measure. See what I'm working with. Yeah, I'm just going to try to squeeze the 46 in here. And I'll move my jack stand out the way. I don't really need it anymore. Measure for 46 inches. I should have known. This is 48. So I'll just take 2 inches off of it. And it should be my 46 inches I need. Oops.
and cut this thing down. I'm gonna test fit it up there, clamp it with some clamps, hold it in place, and mark all my spots where I need a trim, where I need a weld through, where I need to make holes to weld to that. All right, so what I'm going to do here is just set it in place, push it as far back as it'll go, and all I want to do is mark here so I know that I'll be welding. I need to make holes on this thing and spot weld into that. And then on this side, mark an X. You see on this side, I'll just kind of mark up. So right here is where I'll make holes on that and spot weld to that. On this side, you see that my piece already had holes in it, so I'll be spot welding to here and into here. But this piece needs to get cut out because that's the front of the A pillar or the rocker, whatever you want to call it, inner rocker. Put an ugly weld right here, and you can't see it, but when I'm trying to put my inner rocker, I'm trying to get it up as close to this as possible, but this ugly booger I put right here, I'm going to have to shave it down. And now, cut out what we don't need, which is this and this little square down here, if you can see it. It's going to fit. Okay, that's not too bad. Little trim on this one. Guess what, folks? We're in like Flynn. I'm gonna put clamps on here. And I'll get this side. Let's try that. All right. The main thing is make sure that my clamps are tight. This is all pressed. I already cleaned it very good. So now it's just a matter of trying to get some good spot welds in here. Not too bad. Come down a bit. Clamp down. Oh, that was my forehead. Protective. My ass. There it is. Here is what we have on the driver's side. The left side, this is our inner rocker. And you see our cab corner. I'm not sure if they sell these or not. I haven't looked, but if not, we'll be making one or two because I need both sides. And of course, all this inner has to be built also, which I'm just going to make it because it doesn't have to look perfect. It just has to work. Yeah. So I'm loving it. First thing we're going to do, get my tape measure, and I kind of want to get a length. So it's going to be about, guess I can make it 39 inches. And then back here it's got a lip. I'm wondering if I could keep this lip. No, I'll do it like I did here. So yeah, this lip originally went all the way to here. And on this side, you see that I added this piece here. So all I'm going to do is just spot weld it to this and it'll be good. And then throw a couple of spot welds back here so it doesn't move. It'll be nice. So I'm going to do it the same way. I could make one go up and down, but I already got a ton of bends right here. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 bends. I need to make sure I'm able to bend these. And if I am, then I don't know. Maybe I'll add it in there. We'll see. I just need to make sure the other side is the same. 3 inches in the front, 2.5 inches in the rear of the rocker. And then our bends. So we've got a 90. It goes in about a 1/2 inch. We'll measure how much it comes down. And I'm looking roughly about 3/4, maybe a little bit above. Say around 7/8. Yeah, it's about 3/4. So I'll stick with my first, and it's 3/4. And then this piece coming down, we'll measure it again, and that is 1.125. So, oh, we forgot. We forgot the small one, the small little lip. The lip's going to be hard to measure, but I'm going to say, oh, it's a 1/4 inch. There we go. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to make this little lip, and I'm going to put a 1/4, and then it's going to fold back. And it folds back about, oh, a 1/4. I want mine to fold back 2 3/4, and then a 1/2 inch lip. So I don't know if you can see this. It's pretty much what my rocker looks like. This is my actual rocker that you'll see. This part, and then the rest is everything else. I added this piece all the way down because I'm hoping that I could just attach it to my inner rocker, and then I'll just spot weld it at the bottom. I think that would be super cool. And I might be able to, instead of doing a 1/2 inch here, I might be able to just do the lip. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to play that by ear. If I had a different brake, because I think already 39 inches, I think my brake is only 24 inches. So I already know that I'm going to have to make it in 2 pieces, which is not very exciting, because that's a lot of bends for 2 pieces to put together, but we're going to try it and see what happens. If the poster board looks good, then we'll continue to shoot.